I actually wanted to go over the Sonic or Archie Comics multiverse because it's surprisingly broken. So basically, first off, there are a bunch of alternate universes. Lowball, you want to say the universes are our size. Okay. But there are a myriad of these universes, and they're called dimensions or zones. Like I said, ranging in the millions to possibly infinite. Here's some Sonic scaling right here. So it's talking about the Phantom Ruby and the character Infinite. And this Phantom Ruby seemingly is able to manipulate space, time, as well as things like archetypes. You might be going, oh no, the Sonic multiverse / universe can't have like archetypes, Jungian archetypes. Well, that's what the author's saying, and there's a bunch of other evidence. Ixis Nagus or Nagus is basically this chaos deity of sorts in the Sonic multiverse, who should have the power of the Chaos Emerald, and that should really just be scaling anywhere from multiversal to arguably outerversal, because it's referring to like the Chaos Force is literally like beyond space and time. No joke. Literally right here. The Chaos Force, and by default the beings of chaos in the Sonic comics and whatnot, and things of the Chaos Force, should inherently be connected to an outerversal force of energy. Mind you, before someone or someone say it, no, this shouldn't scale above the Speed Force in DC Comics. But it is outerversal nonetheless, so it has a very good and high chance of beating Goku, so yeah, that aside. These worlds have nexuses and crossroads that connect them. There are many alternate zones, like I said, millions up to infinite if you wanted to highball or something. There are beings out there with the power to crush millions of these multiverse zones, which should include multiple universes, as implied in the name, so yeah. There are infinite universes, an infinite number of worlds, and with that comes infinite power, and gaining access to these worlds and their power will make this he's talking about how he's gonna become some sort of god and whatnot. So there are infinite worlds, though in the context of millions, I think that's in terms to the local worlds or something like that. Voila. We'll have this translated. More proof showing that beings of chaos have the ability to use Chaos Emeralds and or their own power to affect entire zones, which should be universe-sized realms at the least, or universe-sized realms dimensions. But imaginary world, which was previously mentioned, that the Phantom Ruby can create worlds that are beyond, is in fact outerversal, and it may in fact be high outerversal depending on your interpretation of this. A crystal weaved out of the hopes of people of various dimensional worlds. Okay, but as like she's talking to Sonic, and like basically, its power supports the existence of extra-dimensional worlds, so worlds beyond dimensionality. Mention of a super-dimensional life form, not yada yada in the games. Chaos energy can undo the rewriting of reality and the alteration of space and time themselves. Ultrasonic has the ability to transmute atoms and stuff. The quantum dial can rupture space-time, and the rift as a result will create a black hole that gobbles up the Earth and its entire star system. Now, a star system, unlike a solar system, includes multiple stars. However, according to Wikipedia, it can also be called a star. It's also called a star cluster and/or galaxy. So this is possibly a galaxy level. This is probably a galaxy level thing. This is all related to some quantum wave. Confirmed to be a quantum wave right here. And right here, surpassing space and time, which just shows to prove Sonic's villains and Sonic's highest levels of threat, and even lower to mid-tier threats, have proved to be threats to literally millions of space-times, as well as being beyond space and time conceptually. Time is considered irrelevant to Matthias, someone who should scale way below Sonic and the other main casts. This guy is talking about the infinite set of universal similarities. I'm not 100% sure what this is meaning, but it could mean anywhere. Once again, this just does confirm further at the very least, there are infinite universes in Sonic, or it could mean something else, which, from what I've heard from a friend, they're like, oh, that could mean there are infinite, like, every cosmology type of a universe and whatnot, like the vibrational worlds and the brain worlds. That's all true to their cosmology, which definitely that's a good interpretation, considering that there are a great deal of villains as well as the Chaos Force that surpass space and time conceptually. And if they surpass space and time, this would just be a part of space and time. This would be beneath them. Wouldn't be too wild. The final bit of Sonic's cosmology that I want to go over, or the Sega Sonic, is the fact that the real world is included inside this multiverse. So Chaos Force transcends this, like, the real world sort of deal. So Sega Sonic stuff, like, they wildin' for real, guys. Like, their multiverse now, from the looks of it, is arguably comparable to maybe a portion of DC's and like, not so much Marvel, because Marvel actually has some wild stuff, but it's comparable to like the lowest levels of DC, which is surprising, I know. I know these words are a little blurry, but try to read it to the best of your ability. Right here. Talking about a dreamscape type parallel reality deal. Dreamscape parallel reality, like I said. This shows the Sonic multiverse includes dreams and like how you can go into people's dreams, which should be something that's, abstract and whatnot, but I'm not exactly sure how dreams work in Sonic. But you can visit parallel realities in sleep, and yeah, pretty wild. Continuum is just a term for like a set of numbers, guys, just to let you know. That's it for the Sonic or Sega Sonic multiverse. That's not even the full multiverse. Hypothetically, Sonic and Knuckles, as well as arguably even Tails at their peak, since they all are like in the same ballpark-ish at their best, should scale to their multiverse and their cosmology. So that's kind of crazy to think about, but anyways, I want to go into Hulk scaling. Like around the next 4 to 5 minutes is just gonna be about this Hulk and Nightcrawler interaction that proves he's Outerversal, but yeah. So basically, this is sort of, well, that sort of just goes over Hulk scaling, but there's also the fact that Juggernaut in base literally scales to Hulk, and Juggernaut fought a World War Hulk, as he's called. Mind you, he was holding back, probably, but the fact that he was able to contend with him at all just shows how much power he has, yet alone in his one of his more powerful forms, which is the form called Trion Juggernaut. whilst it appears to me that like Composite or like just like Juggernaut at his best just consistently outdoes a Hulk at like his normal best without amps from the literal one below all. I think it's still an interesting battle that we should all consider. Alas, that's not what we're here to consider. We're here to consider Juggernaut versus Knuckles from Sega Sonic. And after having seen that long Cosmology video about Sonic, or section, I should say, well, the section was used to make a video, but suffice to say, I've gone over Hulk being Outerversal. I've gone over why Juggernaut should scale that, and well, I really think that's sort of just it. To be honest, there is some other stuff that I'd like to show that just shows something that a lot of people don't really seem to talk about in terms of characters in battles, which it's kind of disturbing, but like it's so often that this character is just so much more raw power, but like what about durability? Look here. Just wanted to go over some Marvel cosmology and stuff real quick, but this is literally someone referencing Jung and his, like, Jungian archetypes and how that's related to the Marvel's human knowledge, thought of reason, etc., civilization, which in essence means that Doctor Strange, when he went to places beyond all reasoning and human knowledge, you could argue that he was literally going to places beyond archetypal realms. Here is some further proof of such. A reference to the collective unconscious. References to metaphor and mythology. Trion literally just explains how all of these beings who are trying to destroy the multiverse are just acting as him. Sort of like the dark side deal of how everyone who commits evil in the DC multiverse below his realm is basically acting as Darkseid. They're being Darkseid for a moment. Similarly, they're being Oblivion when they're trying to destroy all of creation. And he even has aspects like the Chaos King, arguably Null too, but yeah, and Juggernaut survived out in Oblivion's realm, so ultimately it comes down to, even if you can't say that Juggernaut is stronger power-wise, which I personally think he's more consistently at that level, or he could just get amped by Sidorak, funnily enough. Recent stuff like he basically got the full power of Sidorak, doesn't even need the helmet anymore, and hypothetically a future full power Juggernaut would have the full power of Sidorak or the ability to kill Sidorak. So you could argue he scales up there at his peak. I think he already does scale up to the higher tiers of Marvel, like earthly wise, maybe not cosmic entity entirely, but at the same time he could easily. But yeah, Juggernaut just naturally and more consistently has AP in the Outerversal to high Outerversal ranges that Sonic and just Knuckles, like who's weaker than Sonic, are not always getting. They have to amp themselves up with Chaos Emeralds and everything, which I could technically consider as a form of cheating, but I'm not because it's composite and whatnot. But suffice to say, the Juggernaut should pretty easily. At his most consistent in composite, he stomps. And even if you don't want to say he's stronger, which I for a bit, I was like, maybe he's not stronger. Juggernaut's far more durable, and that durability eventually outlasts any power-up they get. So, Juggernaut for the win.